Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yes, we are ready to go. So let's go. It's about to get live. We keep it pretty level, no surprise. Come and listen to the topics busted. Yeah, check out our discussion. Keith Norris and D2K. K-Bump 20 on the MIC. Jet Eye Night all the way in Germany. Leveled head, you know who that boy be. What they say, live and level, live and level. We on that MIC. Live and level. We just talking them What's up, people? This is your boy, Leveled Head. We are back in the building. I'm just pushing buttons. I don't know what I'm pushing. I don't care. What's up? We are live. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. Anyway, my name is Leveled Head. My first name is Leveled Head. My last name is Gamer. Welcome back to the Live and Level Gamers podcast. I have my friend, my buddy, my pal, K-Bum 20. He's online with me. What's up, K-Bum?
Yo, what's up, people? What's up? Good to be back.
He's in the building, folks. Who else is there?
I see me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Is that Jedi? Oh my God! All the police is on the ways. I'm playing. Let me stop. What's up, Jedi?
Oh no.
Yeah, man, we here. So what's good?
My
what's
bad
good?
for cutting off K-Bomb's entrance. I'm sitting here trying to get this audio on Discord right.
Oh no, you straight. I didn't recognize the name. I didn't see Jedi. I saw something else. Like, who snuck up into the cast? Get the police. Anyway, so welcome back to the show. We are here to have a good time. If you're in the live chat, go ahead and let us know you in there. I see K-Bum talking about what's up, people. Yes, it's been a minute, but we are here and we are ready. We are live, and I'm still setting things up. I got stuff all messed up on here. But what's happening y'all way, man? Starting with K-Bum, what's good your way?
Man, just I'm blessed, man. Doing good, man. I got out a little bit this weekend. My goddaughter graduated. Now she's going to first grade, so we had a little drive-by celebration for. So that was pretty legit. Got a chance to get out the house a little bit. Got a chance to get out the house today. Got a chance to do a little driving, see a couple people, see these people out here don't care about that COVID. No masks, but it's all good. But you know, been good, man. I've been smiling.
Man. You said y'all did a drive-by for graduation?
Yeah. Like I said, my goddaughter just graduated. Was that kindergarten? Now she's going to first grade. So.
I'm joking, man. Let me stop. She going to first grade?
Yeah, she going to first grade, man.
That's what's up, man. I thought you sitting up there saying grad. I thought you was going to say she's going to college. And I hear first grade. I was like, oh,
nope, first grade, man. Don't belittle her first grade.
No, I'm not. I'm not belittling the first grade. I just wasn't expecting you to say first grade. I thought I was going to hear college, or she graduating from college, finna step off into the, to the business and corporation life. I ain't know what you was finna say. You said first grade, it just caught me off.
First grade.
Jedi, man, what's good your way, bro?
Man, somebody needs to unplug 2020 and plug it back in, man. This is getting real crazy. Yeah,
you're right on that.
Personally, I've been good. If it's not one thing, it's another though. Especially with now, I mean, really outside of the COVID. Especially back in this, I enjoy stuff. guys know that I'm overseas, and since protests and riots is happening, they burnt down some neighborhoods in my old neighborhood back in the Bronx, and I got family and friends there. It's been a bit of a mess. National flights are down. It's ridiculous, man. Personally,
That's
I'm
crazy,
good.
man.
Family's good, but it's world, bro.
Okay. Man, we're going to kind of talk about that today, too. We're going to touch on that a little bit. Now, I know that things are happening worldwide, so have y'all been seeing anything over there in Germany?
Well, because of people being home for the most part, our quote unquote quarantine is not the same as what's from where I'm at. We're taking precautions, but people are basically back to work, and it's been like that since really maybe mid-April.
Okay.
But for the most part, because of the transition with COVID, things have changed. So when you have incidents like what happened a couple weeks ago, the world is really seeing,
Right.
And it's different this time. Usually when you have situations that occur, people are too busy with their personal lives or with football, so they'll tell you, please don't take a knee in the middle of my sport. Now, that you're locked in your house and you kind of feel shafted, and your president is your president. Now you feel kind of like, this is, shenanigans that's going on. But we've been saying this for hundreds of years, man.
Right.
It's like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I've been feeling some type of way about that.
Yeah, I think COVID-19 has forced the world to have to see what we have experienced, and many of us have been victims of. Some of us have experienced touches of this stuff. Maybe a little bit different from others, but we all have had our experiences on the other end of that. Pulling you over with them sirens and questioning you, man. I remember one time I got pulled over, and I saw him going the other way. I'm going to the gym. He had to make a U all the way in the middle of one of the busiest streets in this town, and followed me and pulled me over, talking about I fit the description of somebody fleeing the scene. I'm like, fleeing the scene or what? It just a vague, and wanted all my information. And when he ran and realized I ain't got nothing on my name, I'm clean. Yeah, you can go. I'm like, bro, you still ain't told me where I fit. You just. And then I heard one of my boys is like, he got the same thing done to him, and the same tactic was done to him in this city. So, you got some crazy folks out here, man.
It's real funny how we all just look alike.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, so what description are we saying? Is the person between 4'9" and 6'3", between the ages of 15 and 97,
and driving whatever car you driving currently? That kind of how it seems to be.
Driving a car with four wheels.
So anyway, we gonna talk about that, but we got that as our first topic. So we get in on that and kind of get y'all thoughts around, and kind of see what the people in the live chat is thinking around this situation with not COVID-19, but with George Floyd. Probably talk about that situation with the quarterback of Saints,
Drew
Brees, and get y'all thoughts on that. Then we get into some game talk. But anyway, anything else happening outside of that y'all want to discuss before we get into this? What you've been gaming on?
I just want to say I miss you guys, man. In a minute.
Yeah. Bro. Yeah, it's been how long has it been, Jedi?
It's been a good little minute.
Yeah, it's been a second.
Minute. I want to say a couple months, maybe more than that. Did we even do it? It's
been several months. It's been at least 4.
Been a month, bro.
Yeah, it's been at least 4. Yeah, I know. So hopefully, D2K and Keith jump. I know Keith said he gonna jump in here shortly.
Yeah, he did say that.
So I'm gonna try to get in contact with D2. But let's go into this. What you been gaming on? Yeah. The music is playing. I know y'all can't hear it, but it's know what time it is. It's time for What Have You Been Gaming On? Sing it, folks. Let's go. Let's go. Hey. What you been gaming on? 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 Gaming on, gaming on, gaming on. All right, so Jedi, since you've been gone the longest, bro, I guess I'll throw this at you, man. What you been gaming on, bro?
I've been playing all mobile games and heavy on that Call of Duty Mobile.
Okay.
And retro football. Retro football. I'm not sure if you guys heard about this game. It's pretty cool, man. I like.
Is it like Tecmo Bowl?
It's the one that looks exactly like Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, I know you're talking about the dudes on Twitter, Pixel Art or something like that. They
exactly.
Game.
I ain't never heard of it. I've never heard of it.
I highly recommend.
Okay.
Yeah, but that and Call of Duty Mobile, man. I haven't played my Switch in the longest, and my PS4 is pretty much dusty, man. I think I'm really transitioning as a gamer too. I've always been the casual type. But I see more and more that more powerful these phones get, more I'm actually gaming on phone. Like Call of Duty, I don't even have a console for.
Okay. Now you was playing that Call of Duty mobile. The last time we talked, you was kind of singing praises of that title.
Nah, it wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
I
thought you mentioned. I thought you mentioned the mobile version. You might didn't play it yet, but I thought you mentioned something about it. Maybe
You know what? If I did, it was probably because we haven't done a podcast for I don't remember. But
okay.
It could have been.
I thought you did. I could have my my memories messed up. Don't count it to my brain though. Even though it is my brain. What else though? What else you been on?
That's really it. Just those two, man. And like, this has been an eventful year. So I guess we'll get into that as we get into the podcast. But I haven't outside of that. I'm lying. I've tried to play for the first time PUBG. I've never played it before, so I downloaded
PUBG.
phone, and it's all right. It's I don't know. It's okay. It's not my cup of tea. I've tried it. And Fortnite mobile, I don't like it. I'll stick to that. But yeah.
Okay.
Call of Duty mobile is. I've tried PUBG, and I really wasn't.
Okay. Now that's one game I don't look interesting to me either. So I'm with you on that. K-Bun, what you been gaming on, bro?
Man, I've been excited to have this conversation because I've been I'm pretty excited about this, man, because I've been on my single player, man. Quarantine has given me the time.
I'm interested to see where this finna go.
since we've been at home so much, your boy done had some time to get some single player in. So let me just rattle some off. Well, also my multiplayer games, I'm just but tired of them. 2K, I'm tired of Madden. Ain't played that in probably 3 months. Tired of Call of Duty on the PlayStation.
Call of Doo-doo, yeah.
Call of Doo-doo. Just tired of multiplayers. I'm just getting tired of them. So I decided to jump in some single players. So I think last time we talked on the podcast, I just
go ahead. This is my wife. Go ahead and talk.
Oh, no problem. I just finished Hellblade. As soon as Sacrifice, I finished that. That was cool. Wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but it was a cool little game. But from that, I started playing Assassin's Creed Origins. Again, my want to play that was because of my trip to Africa, my trip to Egypt, and all of the all what we learned about the Egyptian culture made me really want to play that game. And you know, the Assassin's Creed, the Origin game, wasn't bad. It actually was not a bad game. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it didn't get that repetitive. I didn't hate it like the other Assassin's Creeds. I thought it had enough variety to it. I enjoyed the game. It wasn't a bad one. Like I said, but you understand, the last time I played Assassin's Creed was the second one. So there's a huge gap for me between the last time I played Assassin's Creed and playing Origins. I know some people may have Assassin's Creed fatigue, but I took a long hiatus from the series. Didn't play Black Flag, didn't play 3, didn't play Syndicate, anything of that nature. I haven't played Odyssey, so I picked back up with Origins, and I enjoyed it. It took a lot from. I see they took a lot from the RPG games like The Witcher and other Skyrim and other RPG games. And so for me, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun game. It was legit. It was cool seeing Egypt in its old state. So I enjoyed that.
Now you beat it?
Yeah, I beat it. Yeah, I beat it.
Whoa. Okay. Now you've been forced me to go up here and play this game. I ain't played
Told you, man.
in about a year and a half.
No, it was fun, man. It
was cool. I just got lost. I just got lost in the game. I couldn't find out where I was no more.
Yeah, it does that. It does. You do kind of get lost, but it's not too hard to get back on track. It was some missions I just hated. Like the boat missions were just like the dumbest. I just wish they would stop doing the boat missions. But other than that, the story was Assassin's Creed. They think they're movie producers. Ubisoft. Let me not say Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft think they're movie producers, and they're not. That story falls flat so many times. But especially there was a emotional arc in the story, and I didn't feel it. It just fell flat, and it kind of made the story bland. But that's kind of beyond the point. So. It was a cool game. It was worth it. It's probably like a 7.5 if you try to scale it. Maybe even an 8 if you enjoy the Egyptian culture. So I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And so I finished that, and then I started playing something else. Oh, just single player.
Zelda? It better be Zelda, man.
So I started playing Spider-Man. So that was my next thing I jumped on.
This dude. Go ahead, man.
So I had bought Spider-Man about 7 months ago. I'd already had Spider-Man. I just never played it. No, it wasn't 7. Yeah, it was 7 months. It was like around Christmas time. I bought Spider-Man. I had it, never played it. And I decided, you know what? After Assassin's Creed, I'm gonna keep playing single player. And I popped into Spider-Man. And man, that is a really good game. The thing is, it's not amazing. It's not trend setting. It doesn't do anything that breaks the mold.
It's Arkham City with Spider-Man.
It's not, to me. I didn't feel Arkham City with Spider-Man. I didn't feel that.
I did. I played it, but it's different, but it's enough of it in there.
I felt it was an updated Spider-Man 2. It was a much better Spider-Man 2. If you play Spider-Man 2, I think on the PS2, which was probably one of the best superhero games to date. Was that a no?
No, I said I played. No, I didn't say it wasn't. Hold up. Yes. Go ahead. That's my wife again.
Yeah. All right. So Spider-Man 2. Sorry, Spider-Man 2. Sorry. Spider-Man for the PS4. I thought it was really good. Like I said, it wasn't groundbreaking, but a game doesn't have to be groundbreaking to be really good. And I thought it was a really good game. It was so good, I actually went and bought the DLC. I haven't played any of the DLC yet, but I bought the DLC because I wanted to continue the story. I thought it was well written, the acting was good, the visual was good, the fighting was good, the story missions didn't make you feel tired. There was some twists and turns I wasn't expecting. It was a good game for me. I actually enjoyed Spider-Man, and I was able to beat that too. And so I beat that, and I bought the DLC. I'm going to hop on that a little bit later. And then I picked up another game. Like I said, I've been on my single player. I'm trying to get my single player going because I know the next couple months is going to be The Last of Us 2. It's going to be the Samurai game.
Forgot about
and it's going to be Cyberpunk.
I might not be getting none of that.
Man, I'm gonna be on my single player for a while now, bro. For a while, I know that. I'm done with some of this multiplayer game. I'm just single playing it. And so after I finished Spider-Man, the main story, I went ahead and got from GameFly.
You been gaming.
That's what I've been waiting for this
That sounds like
conversation.
You hear me? It sounds like
Bruh.
his brother's been. I beat Origin. I beat Spider-Man.
I done been Origin Spider-Man, bruh, and now I'm working on the Jedi game.
Okay.
Not you Jedi, but the the Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Knights or whatever it's called. Not Fallen Knights, Fallen Order, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I've been playing that game, and it's good. It's good.
Okay.
It's good, but there's a caveat. It's good, but it's a Souls game, and I don't.
Okay.
I
It's hard.
It's to me. This is how I feel. I feel this game is made to be hard just to be hard. There's things in there that's usual in every game that I think is just in there, and they do just for it can be harder than what it needs to be. Point in case, there's nothing that tells you where you need to go. So you'll get lost for 45 minutes before you even know where you need to go. There's no indicator that tells you, no arrow, no nothing.
No map, no glowing.
No,
like...
there's a map. There's a map, but it doesn't
Okay.
tell you like there's the thing I hate in this game, and this is probably why I never really got into the Metroid games. One thing I hate is backtracking. I hate backtracking. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And this game has plenty of backtracking, but
Okay.
it doesn't tell you where you need to backtrack to. And so you'll go back to a place and go the wrong path and spend 45 minutes going the wrong path because it never told you where you really need to go. And the map is so confusing with levels. That makes me upset.
Okay.
And like there's no like auto regen. They made sure of that. And even when you do try to heal, it doesn't fill your whole bar. It fills at the beginning like a third of your bar. And you only get 2 to 3 of those. And so it's meant to be really hard, and it's actually a good game though. Like despite of those issues, despite it being difficult, I had to take my pride and stuff it down and just lower the difficulty because I was playing on the Jedi Master level, and I'm not there yet. So I dropped it down some. But after that, the game is fun. The gameplay is fun. It's legit. It's made hard for a reason. But that's how they want to do it. But I'm actually enjoying it. It sounds like Star Wars. It looks like Star Wars. It feels a little bit different than Star Wars. It doesn't feel like a regular Star Wars game. It feels a little bit different, but it looks and sounds like Star Wars. It's a decent plot. The plot isn't that great. It's good enough to keep the story moving, and it's fun to play. It's hard to master and fun to play. So that's what the game I'm working on right now. That I'm trying to finish it up. Then I'm gonna go back to Spider-Man.
Okay, so that was Origin.
Finish Hellblade, play Origin, then Spider-Man.
Well, you
and
quarantine
then
has
Fallen
been
Order.
Quarantine has done you,
Bruh.
Shut my door, boo boo. All right. Okay, so wife ain't here. My son up there asleep, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be getting a few of those. So anyway, that's some serious gaming. I haven't done quite well. Let me put it like this: I have been gaming, but it hasn't been across a plethora of games. It's just been pretty much one for the most part. So of course I've been on that Streets of Rage here and off and on. I finally beat it. I told y'all that the last time we talked. But I play that every now and again because I like beat 'em ups. I just realized I really like just going through and just smashing some buttons and slamming some stuff for a few minutes and then getting off. But my daughter, yeah, because that's basically what it is. So my daughter had been bugging me and pestering me about this Animal Crossing New Horizon game for the Switch. And y'all know I've always said I've never played an Animal Crossing. It looks like boredom. It looks like boredom in a plastic case. So I was wrestling with the idea of buying this game because I know she, while wanting to play it, won't really understand and grasp the depth of what she has to do to really play the game. And I didn't think I would be willing to play the game enough to, be of any assistance to her. Like, I didn't think I was gonna. Anyway, so let me just say. So she pestered me. She got so on my nerves with this game, man, that I went out to surprise her and I went and bought the game. I couldn't even find it. It literally, I had to order it and have it shipped to my house because you couldn't find it in the stores nowhere. I mean, it was not one to be seen. So I finally ordered it from Best Buy and they shipped it to the crib. And of course, she's overlaid it. She's bubbling with joy. So we put it in, and she's playing it. She's running around. She created a character. I told her, why you didn't make a character that look like you? She got blue eyes. She got orange hair. I'm like, I don't know that person. So we started it over, and we created a person that looks like her. And so she running around. She doing her thing, and I'm watching her. I'm like, man, she don't grasp it. She don't know that this game wants you to do certain things in order for the game to progress. The island that you purchased to progress. So to help her out, I decided that I create me a character, and since we'll be in the same ecosystem on the same island, anything I do in the game, she benefits from. So if I cause this building to be built and this work over here to start, then my daughter will be able to access all that stuff as if she did it. So so I had to play the game. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the first 7-8 hours was pure boredom. Like, this game was boring. I'm like, I don't know how anybody.
The first 7-8 hours,
bruh. Yeah, like, cause you gotta build up this city. So I mean, I would put in chopping stuff, finding wood, finding steel nuggets, fishing, finding bugs to build this museum. To have this museum built, I had to find so many bugs to get the rights for this owl to get the deeds. It's just a chore. It's just a game of chores. So I'm like, I told you, I sit there in the Google Hangout. I was like, man, I don't know how anybody can get enjoyment out of this game. I just don't get it. I'm like, I'm not getting this. It's just a game of chores. And then Keith is like, leveled all games of chores. I'm like, but this is pure chore. Like, I'm literally having to donate my hard work. It's literally, the game literally forces you to buy everything you need and then donate to them what they need to get what they need in the land, in the island. I got to donate it to them. But then I need money to get what I need, so I got to sell and go out and work and sell my stuff to them, but donate to them at the same time so they can build what they want. And it's like, it's a hustle. I'm like, I'm just getting used. So
sounds like what we do every day when we go to
right,
work.
and that's so stay with me. So you're right, Jedi. Stay with me though. So I'm mad frustrated with this game, but I know she don't understand it. So in order for her to get the full fulfillment out of this game and me to get my $62 worth, I gotta play this game.
$62.
Yeah. Look, we ain't just gonna have Animal Crossing in there so she can run around and ain't built nothing, still living in the tent. I couldn't have it. So I'm busting my tail. I'm chopping up wood. I had to get 30 pieces of soft wood, 30 pieces of regular wood, 30 pieces of hardwood, 30 pieces of metal steel chips. So I'm going around hitting all these trees, and some of them give me stuff. I had to wait several days because sometimes, once you hit all the rocks and stuff to get the steel and stuff, they only yield so much at a time, and then you gotta wait so long before they yield again. So that's why it's like 7-8 hours. You might do that for the first day, K-Bum, and then you gotta wait and come back and do all that stuff again. So it's literally a living, breathing world that's going off of the real life time scale. So if it's dark in my city in this region, the game is nighttime. If it's nighttime outside, it's nighttime in the game. If it's daytime, it's daytime in the game. I think even the weather may be, I'm not for sure on this, but the weather might be even impacted by the weather. Like, it's literally reproducing what's going on in your real world in the game. So it's pretty genius as I kept playing. So I finally got all this stuff for this owl. I don't know the name of the owl. And let me say this too. Nintendo has to stop with the text. Nintendo got to get some voice acting. This is absolutely ridiculous amounts of reading. Look. K-Bum, on this one, me and you are in sync. I'm with you. I understand your pain. I tried to make excuses for it with Zelda because there was a little voice acting there. But my aunt and cousin was up from Texas this weekend, and I was playing the game. And my auntie was like, look, I'm already tired of reading. We ain't been sitting, like, it literally took, I mean, you could be sitting there reading for like 5, 6, 7 minutes straight. And it's straight text after text after text after text after text. And I'm like, look, Nintendo, you would save you more money just from having some voice acting going on than all this text. And I feel sorry for whoever had to type all this stuff up. So that's a downer with the game. But I finally got all the stuff. We got the museum built, and this is when my whole enjoyment of the game changed. From this is whack to okay, I get it. He said I had to go pick the land for the museum, and he was like, "Well, you gotta wait. It won't be built until tomorrow." So I had to literally wait till tomorrow. So when I got home from work, I turned the game on and it said, well, we got it built, but you won't be able to access it till the next day. So I literally had to wait. Yeah, bro. I had to wait 2 days to actually access. You cannot just build it and you go in. You got to wait. It's got to get built. And then it got to get finished being remodeled on the inside and all this stuff. I guess I don't know what they're doing, but I couldn't access it that day. So Tom Nook or whatever the little raccoon or whatever you got to talk to the mayor of the island or whatever he is, you couldn't access. So the brilliance of the game started to open up to me. That might sound crazy to you, but seeing it in action, you start to see why people like this game. And the game that I saw as super duper boring has sucked me in, man.
Oh,
it got me, bro. It got me. My wife said, I thought you bought the game for my daughter. I was like, I did. She said, well, you seem to be playing it more than her. And she started texting me because she didn't want my daughter to hear us talk about it. I was like, look, my daughter don't know what she's doing. And to help her out, I'm playing the game. She's like, no, you just playing the game. Got nothing to do with your daughter. So to make a long story short, man, I got my house. I owe $90. I paid off $15,000 of that. So I had to get the wood and pay them to build my house. I had to gather. It's crazy. So I owe $98,000 for my house. I owe it's like a real world.
You got a mortgage, man?
I got mortgage. I got to donate items for stuff to get built. It's an interesting game. I ain't gonna say it's for everybody, but I can see the love affair with it. I can see why people get caught up in it. It got a certain little charm to it. Graphically, no, it ain't gonna do nothing for you visually. It's cute, but I ain't gonna sit up and say I'm the proudest 41-year-old man playing this Animal Crossing game.
Man,
but anyway, I am actually enjoying the game. So with that being said, that's what I've been gaming on, amongst other things that I don't feel like really going into. Street Fighter's on the PlayStation 5. I bought the I think this is my wife texting me. But I bought the definitive edition, so I got all the characters and been playing that. But mostly, man, been on that Animal Crossing. So anyway, so let's get into these.
Been on your job.
Yeah, dude, it's a chore, man. It's absolutely a chore. But anyway, so let's go ahead and jump into these topics we got set up. I know we took a good minute talking about that, but we don't have a whole bunch of topics. So we kind of started off talking about the situation with George Floyd and what's going on in our country in the United States of America and what seemed to be impacting the world on a global stage. So with that being said, I guess the question is, why do you feel George Floyd's death has touched the world? Like I throw that at you, Jedi, since you've been off here the longest. We can kind of touch on this for a little bit. You know, just share your thoughts on it.
Well, a plethora of reasons. Some people are looking at realizing that happening, and a particular it's
you going in and out. Every other word kind of go in and out.
All right. Do I sound better now?
Yeah, you sound good now.
All right, cool. I was saying that it's touching people globally for a plethora of reasons. Well, people are starting to see that these particular people in this country are clearly being oppressed to the point where people are being filmed in broad daylight in the neighborhood. People are saying that they cannot breathe, and people are saying check pulses at knee neck. Like there's a I don't know how to put it. This is just not criminality. Like this is worse than just criminal activity. These are like atrocities. That's a good word for it. Where it's like it's abhorring to even see it. And I really think it was more than just what happened with George Floyd. I mean, just look at what's been going on for the past couple of months that even led up to George Floyd, even outside of coronavirus. You're talking about a girl that lived in I think she was in the Houston area or Kentucky or something like that. She was sleeping in a home.
Right.
And the police, did the silent barge into her door, shot her 8 times when she was sleeping.
Breonna Taylor.
Yeah. No.
She
then
worked
you got
with
the
them.
dude.
She was a
EMT.
Yeah, and then you got this gentleman that was jogging in his own neighborhood.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Youth him out and basically kill him. Something that was completely it had nothing to do with him. Like these are the things that are commonplace.
Okay.
There was a situation that happened in New York where this lady, they call her Central Park Karen.
I seen it.
I was more charged up on that than anything. This is the reason why. Every time we have a situation where there's a racial divide, because it's always a racial divide when we're finally tired of what's happening and we start to speak out more than what we used, such as like protest. But when you see in the video, the girl said, I'm going to call the police and tell them that there's an African American man threatening my life. Like the fact that she even understood the consequences of and that lets me know that when we have these type of race or oppression discussions, that they know. This is the reason why I'm personally tired of it. Because it's always that discussion when you grow up and you have these issues, and then when you talk about it, it always comes from a place of, well, we need to speak and to know about one another so we can grow. And it always felt like artificial to me, because it's kind of like, well, they're the ones being oppressed. How are the people who are benefiting from our oppression not see this? And it's not like we've been silent. We've been telling y'all. And that video was disgusting. It was disgusting. And what is occurring is that quote unquote white people are even tired of it, because what's happening is that viewed as tyrants and pharaohs and oppressors and fascists and evil people. And not everybody's like that. Oh, you may come from a line or genealogy that are known for conquering worlds. And that's just what it is. And a few years ago, right, I know that I think it was you, Levu, that spoke about stopped by the police. in your neighborhood, and your friend had a similar situation. I remember years ago, before I moved out of New York, me and my wife, I got off of work, I picked up the wife in front of our building. This was like midnight on a Friday, right? We're gonna go to the store, we're gonna get some like potato chips and ice cream, we're gonna head back to the house, we're gonna watch some movies and just kick it off on a nice weekend. On the way to the store, we're walking. There's a paddy wagon, a van that runs a stop sign and makes a left turn, and I'm on the adjacent side of the street. So as we are about to walk into the street, this cop and is about to hit us. So I stopped my wife. I'm like, what the hell? You guys almost hit us. Bro, 7 cops. Well, first of all, they backed up the van and they asked me what did I say. So I told them what I said. 7 cops got out of the car, 6 guys and 1 female. 6 cops surrounded me. The female cop took my wife to the side and said, it's clear that you're not from around here. What are you doing here? So I had to tell the wife, don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm discussing this situation with the cop, and the cop is like, well, the person who was driving, well, we ran the stop sign because we're heading to an emergency.
Then why you stop? Why you talking to me then? Why you stop?
Hey, Bob, this is what I'm talking about, man. They lie their ass off all the time, man. So
was there lights on?
No, there was no lights on. There was no siren, no anything. So they
no
do this in the Bronx constantly, bro. This is what they always do, and they almost hit us. So I asked the question. I said, so you mean to tell me that you stopped going to an emergency in order for you to back up the van and bother me and my wife? Is that what you're telling me? He said, oh, do you want to take this conversation down to the precinct? I said,
Lord have mercy.
I don't really want to go down to the precinct to have this conversation, but in actuality, I don't think you can, because aren't you on your way to an emergency? I had 6 cops surround me. Then afterwards, once things dispersed and all, my heart is kind of racing because I know at the same time I'm standing.
You went out again, Jedi. Did he drop out? Oh man. Okay. When he get his situation situated, we'll get him back on. We got brother Keith in the internet. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? I forgot.
I should have known, man. I was like, he said he was jumping on.
I forgot because I just dropped my kids off at their grannies, and out of sight, out of mind.
Well, welcome to the show. If you in the live chat, man, I see we got a few people there. Go ahead and sign off and let us know who in there while we get a situation with Jedi straightened out.
Man, that story's getting good, man.
Yeah, but he made me think of something, man. When he was telling the story, I remember a situation where I got pulled over, and the cop claimed that I had read a stop sign. I know I hadn't, and I had me, my younger brother, and a friend of mine in the car with me. And he pulls me over, so he comes to the door and he wants me to give him my license, and he wants everybody's license in the car. And I'm like, well, I said, why do you need everybody's license in the car when I'm the one driving? Why do you need all of our license? He said, he got smart with me. I said, I told him, y'all ain't got to give him your license. This is before we was seeing all this visual we seeing. I was about 20, this is a good minute ago. I was about 24, 23, somewhere around that age. And, you didn't even think about stuff like we seeing now happening, at least not in my area. So, and we didn't have cameras floating to capture this stuff like we do now, because I probably would have dealt totally different. So anyway, I told him not to give him, their license. And he got real smart with me, talking about, are you trying to hide something and all that? I said, you think I'm trying to hide something? He said, do I need to check the car? I said, you want to check the car? I'm getting smart with him. You know what I'm saying? Because he tripping. So he tells me to get out the car. And he forces, he makes me come to his car, and he running my license. And then he just so happened, and I recognized him. He didn't know I had recognized him. He didn't recognize me. I'm just a black dude driving I had a new Grand Prix. It was nice, and he saw me driving. And I think that's why he pulled me over. So, but I recognized him because I explained why I recognized him and why when he figured out who I was, he freaked out. So we sitting in the car. So he asked me, "Where do you work?" I said, "I manage Blockbuster Video." I said, "I'm assistant manager at Blockbuster Video," and then his whole countenance fell. It changed because I had just gave him free movies the day before. Because when the cops came in to Best Buy, we would give them free movies because they're police. So that was one of our policies, being kind to law enforcement. So he had came in several times, but he had just so happened came in the day before, and then he recognized me. Then his whole attitude changed. He was being a jerk. He was being ugly. Treat me like yesterday's news. Then when he figured out who I was, he apologized. I'm not feeling good. I'm sorry. Hold up. I got my girls coming down here. Go upstairs. And once he found out who I was, he gave my license back. He turned the thing to the side. He didn't want to have no more discussion. He said, "Man, y'all can go. You can go home, sir. Just I apologize. I just ain't feeling good tonight. I'm just having a bad night." That's literally what he told me. But before, he wanted all our licenses. Before
he wanted all that smoke.
Yeah, he wanted all the smoke. Before I got drugs in the car. Before I ran a stop sign. I ain't get a ticket. So what happened to me running the stop sign? You see what I'm saying? So yeah, for us, this is a reality, and I think the larger the majority culture sometimes just are oblivious. It ain't that they don't know. Jan Elliott asked that crowd, "Would you trade a place with a black person?" None of them raised their hands, so they are aware, but they just don't know how deep this game go. I'm gonna have to get my girls upstairs. So Keith, since you've been out of here, I'm gonna let you go, and then K-Bone, you come after Keith. Go ahead.
Check it out. I just want to make sure that my mic is.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah. We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Cool.
What was the main question? So I know that I'm on top here.
Yeah. So basically, what Level was getting us to talk about, we were just talking about the George Floyd protest. We were talking about, why is the reaction to the George Floyd incident? Why is it different, right? Why are we actually seeing a difference in the behavior of people, companies, organizations, and stuff like that? What kind of made the situation different? And Jedi was kind of explaining from his point of view and what they've seen and why this is different. I know he didn't get a chance to finish it.
He back,
but
I just saw him. Okay.
Yeah, he said something. I'm just trying to give the spiel to Keith because he asked about the topic. But yeah, that's kind of the question that he was putting out there.
Okay, so why is it different? I think for me, there is no justification. Man, that big truck almost turned over. Sorry. There is literally no justification for that man's murder. Counterfeit money, counterfeit check, whatever it was, there's no justification, and everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. The man said, "I can't breathe. My chest hurt." Called out to his mom. For a lot of people, and I've seen some stuff where him calling out to his mom resonated with all mothers, white, black, Asian, whatever. Like a child is calling out to their mother, and that mother can't get to him because he's in distress. That touched people. You know what I'm saying? So while we have all these other killings and no slight to any of that, like y'all were just talking about Breonna Taylor. One of that hurts me the most is Tamir Rice, because my kids are growing up and they like to play and they like to do things. You know what I'm saying? And somebody called the police, what was it, a 12-year-old, and killed a 12-year-old.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Jumped out the car, didn't even come to a complete stop. They had killed that boy before they stopped the car good.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all not even trying. Like, at least try. And so when you got this man, 3 officers, let's not just look at the one that was on his neck, but you got 3 officers sitting on this man. Like, y'all not even trying. Y'all are blatantly letting us know that y'all do not care. And what all of this is about, to me, when I step back and I look at the looting and I look at the fires that's been set and things like that, and I'm hearing people on both sides, "Oh, I don't like the violence, I don't like this and the third, yada yada yada." But you didn't hear me when I was trying to be peaceful. You didn't hear me. Like, all I'm trying to do is get a conversation with you, and you talking about, "Oh, I'm disrespecting the flag, or you do all this stuff to deflect from what I'm actually trying to tell you, so we can solve the problem, so we can move forward together. But what you're telling me is you don't want to move forward. That's what you're telling me. When you got the president talking about some when the looting starts, the shooting starts, or whatever, you're literally telling me that you're not listening. And what kind of what Jedi was just saying is they know. You know the issue, and you don't want to hear it. You don't want to entertain it.
Mm-hmm.
Then my question is why? Why do you not want to entertain it?
Yeah.
Huh?
Because status quo, man, it don't affect them, so it ain't my problem. So it shouldn't be a problem at all. That's majority of why. For most, it's not my problem, and you are causing my world. You are forcing this conversation into my world. I had a conversation with two of my friends, coming out of a Christian background. These were ministers. I would say I won't go as far. I just say that, and they this is intrusive. This is, you're forcing me to have a conversation I would rather not have. And but on the inside, I would say this: after we did talk, and after we both kind of let our guards down, we all came to a place of forgiveness. They apologized. I apologized for my attitude and how I was coming, because I got aggressive, and they got aggressive because we was looking at it from different lenses. But this situation with Floyd did touch everyone on both sides, and it's like, even though I don't want to have this conversation, I can't deny what I just saw. And I think, like what you just said, Keith, and what K-Bun was echoing, the world cannot deny what we just saw. Like Jedi said, it was so blatant, and like you said, it was so unnecessary. It lacked any empathy, it lacked any concern or any value for the person that they had on that ground. It was as if they had nothing under him. It's like he didn't have nothing under his knee, nothing of relevance, nothing of importance, and it ain't just a racist thing. It ain't just a prejudice thing. This is a situation within law enforcement, because you saw an Asian guy standing there watching equally as the white guy with his knee on his neck, and I think a Mexican or a Puerto Rican or of that ethnic group was holding him down with another white guy. So, and we also see this, and I ain't gonna go there. I'm gonna leave that alone. But this thing, it don't make sense. And it's like, what is this culture within law enforcement that makes them feel like, especially with black and brown people, they can just do whatever they want and it don't matter? It's amazing to me. But go ahead.
I'd like to add to that.
Go ahead.
Abuja. And what I've noticed is a couple of things that people don't realize when it comes to quote unquote black people, right? Because of the type of oppression that we had to go through is by the oppressors. The oppressors dictate how society runs in class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when ruling class decides that they're going to oppress the people or the general, but in this particular case, a group of people, everyone else, including that group, is going to mimic what the oppressors do. And this is why when you have white supremacy that occurs, everybody is used to this because of the United States. But when you have the neighborhoods that we live in, have people not part of our neighborhood, not part of our that are within our neighborhood, may open establishments, and they treat us the same way as the white supremacists. Or when you have us, others, and sisters with one another, because we've been taught that there's no value to our life. All we've known is being taught what the oppressor has taught us about ourselves, which is one of the reasons why it's very dangerous to establish a history in the hands of people who have you in captivity. People don't want to be honest, actually. They want to play Americans. That is the place of our captivity. That is what it is. And I've been saying this for the longest to like direct friends and family, and they don't like that type of rhetoric. But every time somebody gets shot in the face and they want to talk about no justice, what act, man? Oppressors don't give freedom, they oppress. That's what it is. In order to fix things, one of the main things that you have to do is be honest with yourself. And when you're able to be honest with yourself, then you're able to address things accordingly. And this is not a call for people to be racist. To understand the realities of the situation. There were plenty of people who are not black that have supported our, and they didn't have to necessarily go through it as a black person because they weren't black, but they understood and they empathized. These people have no empathy for us. Yet we extend ourselves and want to the ballot boxes and vote. People are playing democracy. Keep thinking that guys like Joe Biden, not Joe Biden, what's this guy's name that was running for president? And then, of course, after he get the country riled up, he had to bow out. And then he puts his, what is this guy's name?
You talking about Bernie Sanders?
Was it the Asian guy?
Bernie Sanders, man.
Bernie, yeah.
It's the same thing. That's the same Bernie Sanders that had no problem the Jewish people getting their reparations in World War II, as they very well should have. Yet when he was questioned about black people getting reparations, he couldn't answer that question. They don't care about you. But you go and you play these democracy games. That's why I don't vote. Why I don't celebrate holidays. I don't do Thanksgiving. I don't do Columbus Day. I don't do Christmas. None of that. That's not our culture. Folks need to wake up. Our people specifically need to wake up because no other culture is in a position as us.
That's real talk.
I want to
go ahead.
I want to
Who was that?
I want to piggyback. I want to piggyback off what he said about the voting though. Like everybody, and partially I believe this is our fault, but everybody wants to tell you to go out and vote. But the things that we want to vote on aren't on the ballots. So it's kind of hard for a person to care. Hey, go out and vote. Yeah, but the stuff that's bothering me, that's causing friction with my life and my people aren't on the ballot. So why am I voting? You know what I'm saying? The stuff that I want to see change, and of course we already know this in the local voting and the petitions and stuff like that. That should be the rhetoric that needs to be pushed up. Not just go vote. No, we need to do the work before the voting starts. Like you can't just say go vote because like look what we have now. We got Joe Biden talking about well, if you don't vote
ain't black.
You're not black.
Yeah,
you ain't black. If you don't vote for me, Joe.
Yeah.
What?
And that's why I'm glad Jedi said what he said, because I know it's uncomfortable, and I know everybody gonna be like, man, what kind of conversation live and level? These are the conversations that you need to hear. That sometimes that's why we call it push the pause button for change. Like we gonna get to the games, but it's reality.
We need to have the difficult conversation.
When Joe Biden said, and and Jedi said something that I even thought about, and I was hoping that Bernie Sanders won. I knew exactly who he was talking about. I wanted Bernie Sanders to win because but at the same time, that was a problem of mine when he couldn't answer that question, and even a problem now that he's jumped on because behind Joe Biden. It's like, dude, if they did you like they did you, and ran you up out of there and did you dirty, why would you jump on board to just ensure this person who ain't no different than the person that's in there now get in just because it can have a D?
Because it ain't Trump.
Yeah, because it can have a D instead of an R, or we can have somebody that ain't Trump that's going to probably sign bills that's worse than Trump. Like, I don't like none of these dudes. Anyway, so I'm glad what you said, D2, Jedi, but you're right, Keith. It ain't. When he said that his heart spoke, out of the mouth the heart speaks.
Yeah.
And people don't. That's why Drew Brees, out of the heart, the mouth speaks. This is in your heart.
Let me touch on Drew Brees.
Go ahead.
After you get done. No, I'll wait till you get done.
No, okay. I know he apologized, and I know all that, and I know Joe Biden tried to apologize, but something in you should have told you before you ever said that wasn't gonna be cool. That especially what Joe Biden said. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Like where in your mind did you not say, man, that's a dumb line, but it is Joe Biden, and it's something he do. We ain't even gonna go political with this, but these are the conversations that black and brown people are all too aware of, but it seems like the majority culture have blinders to it. It's like, bro, that's perfect example of what we talking about. The fact that Joe Biden can tell black people they ain't black if they don't vote for him. Like
that's how they treat us, bro.
That's crazy, man.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, bro. Go ahead, K-Bump, and then we won't belabor this too long.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in all of this. There are so many plots and subplots during this whole March to Freedom, this whole Black Lives Matter movement. There's so much to unpack, but I'm gonna try to break it down in categories really quick and try to get through. The biggest thing is this: that there has been a ripple effect when it comes to the innocent taking of Black lives, in the past several incidents in the past month, and Will Smith said it best. He said, it was a statement that he said racism isn't getting worse, it's just getting videotaped. This ain't nothing new. It's just getting videotaped.
Dude, that's not even funny. I'm sorry for laughing. That was hilarious.
No, it's the truth, bro. I saw him like, that's the truth. We have been saying this for the longest, that this is what's going on, that they are doing this to us. This is how they treat us. This is how the police do us. And what happens is, like, I live in the suburbs. I mean, I live in the suburbs. I live in the straight burbs.
Suburbs, like submerged deep in a serene. Anyway,
Trey, leave it to Beavers.
That boy under the water, he deep blue sea diving up in his mud. That's
Bruh,
how far
I'm leaving the Beaver suburbs. Want to know? Hey, Bob. I'm one of those suburbs.
Yeah, you up in there? Like, should I even be over here, suburbs?
and I'm telling you, they think that the way they're police out here is the way that we're police. And it is so far from the truth. Police, we here will see you, say hi, will call you by your first name. If they think our first name all start with an N, if you know what I'm saying. And
Exactly.
so it's different, and people have been cooped up for the past couple of months, and they are being punched in the face with this news. And you have to sit down and come to grasp with this. And when you see somebody, a man defenseless, sitting on the ground, yelling out for help, telling you he can't breathe, screaming for his mother, while the cop is just sitting there unflinching, at a certain point you have to say, this is wrong. And I don't know what really piece of the straw tipped over the camel's back, but obviously this did it. And
Yeah.
For me, I am so happy and so excited, because I've been saying this for a long time, and I'm sorry if it offends someone. I'm sorry. I've been telling my black friends for the longest. We will not see justice. We will not see improvements in the way we're treated until we get our allies, our white allies, to join with us. We're not going to make them give us anything on our own. I have been saying this for a long time. And what you're seeing is, you're seeing allies. You're seeing people coming to fight with us. There was a article that I posted. There was a white lady named Julie who has a mixed race son, and she talks about in the article that if she would have saw her son, if that was her son on the ground, for 9 minutes calling out for her, and she was murdered, she said she would burn everything to the ground. She said, I will burn it all to the ground. Like you have to understand that this isn't just a one incident. This is years and years of all of this happening, and us trying to do it peacefully. And you're finding rhetoric and finding ways to not hear what we're saying. There was another article that there was a guy who actually talked about the Colin Kaepernick protest, that actually talked about and said, gave an apology to Colin Kaepernick, and he said I'm sorry, because when you kneel for the flag, when you kneel during the national anthem, all I can see was you kneeling for the national anthem, and I thought, and from my view, that's all I heard was you disrespecting the flag. He said, now I get you. Now I understand what you're doing. Now I understand what you're saying. It was never about the flag. It's about trying to get people to be aware and notice what is going on. And what people don't understand, and people have trouble, protests are supposed to disrupt the common flow, the way things, the ebb and flow of things. It is supposed to be it's supposed to get your eyes and get your attention
disruptor.
And make you disrupt. It's supposed to be a disrupt. That's the point of it. Right. Part of a protest. That's why they they block off streets. You don't block off a side street that no one cares about, because people can go around their day and not give a dang. A protest is supposed to disturb you, for you can see and get your attention on what's going on.
It's like like Martin Luther King said, riots are the voice of the unheard. That's what he said, basically. I might not quote it exactly how he said it.
No, you're right. That's what he said. His daughter quoted
it. Riots is the voice of the unheard.
Yep.
And my thing is this. It's the echo chamber, man. What you described, like Drew Brees was just spewing out the echo chamber and I think he knew what he was doing. I don't think. I
want to touch on that. I want to touch on Drew Brees still, but go ahead.
I would say this, and I'll be quick, and then we go to this next topic. I do believe there are people out here who, because of their privilege, they don't have to pay attention. They don't have to know. I don't believe Drew Brees is one of them people. I believe Drew Brees was talking to his audience, talking to that audience that eats this stuff up and trying to make himself appear to be something in front of them cameras, and thought he would get that same praise and that same approval that he would have got had he said that maybe 2 years ago. The praise and the flag this, and I will never tolerate a person kneeling on the flag, and my father and my grandfather was he thought he was going to get that same audience that the president had stoked up, that caused Colin Kaepernick to get treated the way he got treated. What he didn't realize was times had changed. Something changed, and he got a rude awakening. Now, so I'm not giving Drew Brees. I'm with Nia. I saw her post when she said, "I don't believe you," and I kind of agree with her. I know he apologized. He apologized because he got to apologize. He apologized because he about to lose money.
It was a political correct move.
Yeah, he has to. I don't believe him. I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he's evil. I don't think he's nothing but what he is, a privileged person who was showing his privilege. And the fact that he would even, and this is something I didn't even think about. And a person that I don't even care for that much kind of made me understand that was Charlemagne. He said, does Drew Brees know that while his grandfather and father was fighting in the Civil War, or great-grandfather and grandfather was fighting in the World War II, there were black men fighting in the same war who was in separate places because of segregation and racism, and they was fighting for the freedoms of other people, that for freedom they didn't even enjoy in the country that they was fighting for. And even though I knew it and knew about these stuff, it didn't even dawn on me the gravity of that revelation. Like, they were fighting alongside people who hated them and couldn't stand beside them. They fought with them only to come back and get lynched and beat up for wearing the suit that they just fought to protect you in. But Drew Brees only can see those that look like him that wore them suits. So that's why I don't believe Drew, and I think that's why his teammates crawled him out like they did. because Drew ain't dark and ain't in the dark to that. Drew Brees was talking to an audience, that echo chamber audience, and he just got
I want to touch on that. I want to touch on that.
Go ahead.
I want to touch on that.
That's just my opinion on it.
I've been following Drew Brees since Purdue, since college. I've been following Drew Brees and listening to what he's been saying and doing since Purdue. Since he was Purdue, then he went to San Diego, then he tore his shoulder, then he got picked up by the Saints, then he went to the Saints, fought through all those years, got to the Super Bowl, finally won the Super Bowl, had several terrible teams, kept fighting through it, got back to the playoffs, lost 2 straight playoffs in a row with 2 terrible calls. I've been knowing Drew Brees since then, and I'm gonna say this, and people are not gonna probably believe me or support what I'm saying. I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't need people to believe. Drew Brees is the kind of person that will never say something that would hurt his teammates or that would alienate him from his teammates. He is a team first type of player. And that's how he's always been. That's what he was in San Diego. That's what he was in Purdue. That's where he were in the Saints. I believe Drew Brees was so caught up in patriotism because I've talked to white people. I have a white friend who helped me understand their point of view when it comes to the flag. Is that they have this strong feel of patriotism that it supersedes a lot of other stuff. And because I have other friends who immediate family is in the military and they follow different people, Republicans, just for the fact that they say they support the military and they turn blind eyes to other things. I have a really close friend who I kind of have these conversations with because of this patriotism. And I believe that he thought that he was saying something that wasn't controversial because he was talking about himself. He wasn't talking about Colin Kaepernick. He wasn't saying Colin Kaepernick was wrong. He was saying he himself, he wouldn't kneel. Not that Colin Kaepernick was wrong, that Colin Kaepernick shouldn't kneel for the national anthem, that he couldn't see himself kneeling. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with him saying that he would not kneel because you don't have to be the one kneeling to help protest what's going on. I ain't got
no problem with that. I don't have no problem with that.
I'm just going to what I feel about him. And so from that statement, when I heard it, and people kept sending me messages because they know I'm a Drew Brees fan. I got his jersey up in my right now, and and I was disappointed. I was highly disappointed. But I've known Drew Brees. The thing is, he's not a racist.
No, I don't think he's a racist.
He was a person that was caught up in a moment that his patriotism took over, and it made a statement that he was not aware that the impact of the impact that it would make.
That's my point.
But I do believe that he is sincere. I do believe when he came back and said what he was going to say, that he said that from the heart. But the thing is, because we always tell people, you need to learn, you need to do better, you need to grow. And then when someone actually says, you know what, I stop. I listen to the people who said they were hurt. I listened to their stories. I listened to what they said. And you know what? I missed the point. I missed the mark. I said something that was wrong. Well, isn't that what we ask for people to do?
Yeah, but I would say this. I'm not saying I don't believe Drew Brees is sorrowful. But I still do believe a lot of that is informed by what he's about to lose by not doing it. But I would say this.
I believe he's a person that he wouldn't, even if he felt, if he knew what he was said would have affected his teammates. I know Drew Brees would be a person that wouldn't even say it. Because he's that much of a teammate or person that even if he felt that, he wouldn't say or put himself in certain places that would affect his teammates and his team.
I don't think Drew Brees expected what he said to get out the way it got out. That's what I think. I'll also say this. It's not what Drew Brees said, it's how he said it. He didn't say, I wouldn't kneel for the flag. I don't, like your friend said, I ain't saying he don't have to, but I wouldn't. I mean, me personally, I would never kneel for the flag. If Drew Brees would have said that, I would be like, oh, okay. He just saying he would never kneel for the flag. He said, I would never respect anyone who will kneel for the flag. You know, to me, that is echo chamber. You are talking to a certain sector of people who hold that same feeling, who who hijacked that conversation around Colin Kaepernick, because we seen Drew Brees kneel for the flag. So
it wasn't during the flag; it was before the flag. They stood up together.
Okay, well that's fine, but
it wasn't. I'll make sure people correct that. It wasn't during the flag.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
They kneeled before, and then they stood up and locked arms.
All right, but it does prove that he understood, or at least was aware of what was really going around and what the narrative was. Drew Brees wasn't in no situation where he could not know, because the NFL was wrapped up in it with Colin Kaepernick. The NFL and everyone that played in the NFL had to know what was going on, because it was affecting their job, affecting their ability to play. Owners had to know. So I'm pretty sure Drew Brees was more aware of what was going on with Colin Kaepernick, and I believe Drew Brees is smart enough to know that what Colin Kaepernick was really kneeling for. So when he said what he said, it's hard for me to buy it. But go ahead. I ain't trying to hate on Drew Brees, on this? Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I just want to say that lineage he comes from and our lineage are not equal in the United States. His patriotism is our mourning. He can go outside on 4th of July and celebrate his independence from Britain. During that Civil War, we were slaves. Anybody who listens to any Frederick Douglass, monologue back in the 1800s and the 1850s will tell you that we shouldn't even be dealing with Independence Day because we haven't had our independence from our oppressors. The problem, the perspective of Drew Brees, because Drew Brees is a football player. The problem is his perspective is similar to many of the politicians and the controlling figures within society that have direct impact on the well-being and the happiness and the prosperity and the affirmative action of Black people. Care about what Drew Brees is saying, and though I didn't have much of a problem with what he said because that was his perspective, I didn't agree with it, but at the same time I can understand that he doesn't have this experience in life as we do. That is our captivity. We went the boats United States in August of 1619.
Did he go out?
And the same issue. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You cut out a little bit, but you back.
Okay, and the same issues that we had from August of 1619, when those first boats arrived in the United States, are the same issues we have today. If you listen to what, and think about this, I want to touch on what K-Bomb said about when you protest, it's supposed to disrupt society. Yet every time we did it, just look at what uproar Colin Kaepernick had, and I don't want to make him the focal point. My point is, this was a gentleman who was standing up for something right, and they made it about a flag. They made it about military. They took and they distorted the narrative.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is what oppressors do. It was clear to anybody who heard the man speak that I cannot stand for a flag that doesn't represent everyone when there are people being oppressed in that country. That the same people who will go and fight in those same wars as Drew Brees' daddy and his granddaddy and come back and was told that they were 3/5 human. To liberate a group of people in another country who won't even come to the United States and come liberate us from our oppression.
Right.
Problem. This is not a United States problem. This is a global problem. If people don't believe that this is a global problem, then go ask those Africans in China right now that when COVID-19 sparked out over there in Wuhan, they made it seem like it was the Africans that did that. They started to kick them out on the street from their apartments. So no wonder why Officer Tao can stand over 3 officers holding a black man down who's saying that he can't breathe and he did nothing.
Right.
This is prophecy, gentlemen. It's prophecy. This is not we need to kumbaya and hold hands with other people. This is prophecy.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to go that deep with it, but I know we'll mess some folks up.
It's what it is.
It is. You're right.
It's what it is.
Right.
I think that people need to start talking the real. People can understand what is actually happening in this, because people are playing games with that book just like they're playing games with our history, because they're whitewashing everything and they're making themselves everything that we are supposed to be. That's the problem. That's what oppression does.
Okay, so I want to say this, and we'll flip this topic. It was something Skip Bayless said that resonated with me when he was talking about the situation with Drew Brees. He said Drew Brees is God and country, and God. He kept saying God and country when he's talking to Shannon Sharp, and Shannon Sharp was the one, not Charlamagne. Shannon Sharp was the one who made me realize that, and then Charlamagne kind of echoed it when I saw what he said. But what stood out to me was that God and country part, and the thought came to me is like, it's not God and country, it's God after country. And that kind of seems like what's taking place with a lot of these people, because if it was God in that book that you just named, then a lot of this stuff wouldn't be happening if they really followed that book. It's God after country. Patriotism, and for some folks, is their God. And I leave it at that. I won't say much more on that. But yeah, so y'all got a good dose.
Can I say it for you, K-Bomb, real quick? I mean, Level, really quick.
Go ahead.
They are following denominations.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be Pentecostal, Catholics and Christians and everything, where that book tells you to be holy.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't tell you to be a denomination.
Right.
It treat your neighbor the way you want to be treated. That if you're a rich man, don't oppress the poor person. Out for the.
Yeah, that's why that's why I said I can't go. If I open that can of worms, I'm gonna hurt some feelings. That's why I was like,
well, this is why the world is the way it is, because everybody talking about, well, we need to get the proper type of democracy. Democracy is not righteousness.
Right. Deal with that today. That's the anyway.
Stop voting. Stop voting for these people. Open the book, read, and follow instructions. That's what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to tell them. You have to tell them.
I agree.
Being around and being quiet, because they're going to go out there protest, and Antifa is going to keep writing Black Lives Matter. The police officers are going to keep destroying their cars, and they're going to get the military in there, and they're going to kill everybody. And it's going to be cool because it's okay to kill black faces. Stay off the streets. Open the book. Follow instructions. That's what we need.
They definitely need to open that book, and they definitely need to realize what they actually, I saw something when in that photo op, and with the Bible was held up, and I was like, man, y'all don't know what y'all just did. But I'm gonna leave it. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it alone. We'll pick this up. Maybe we need to create a whole nother platform so we can really have this conversation. I'm not gonna say.
I think we should do that.
I think we just need to create another platform with this same nucleus of people and really start talking about the stuff so we can be as candid as we really want to be, and go as deep as we want. We ain't gotta sugarcoat, because I know a lot of y'all ain't here. Some of y'all got more of a dose than y'all expecting, and some of y'all probably already left because there's way more than you can handle. So, but let's hit this last few. I kind of want to wrap it up on this, but just a touch. If y'all want to, it's up to you guys. Yeah, do y'all kind of want to end it on that? Do y'all want to touch on these other topics?
No. Let's touch on the topic a little bit.
So the first hour.
I want to leave on that heavy. It's a little bit too heavy to leave it on.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the second topic. PlayStation 5 SSD speeds are causing developers to redesign their games. I found this article. I sent it to y'all in the Google Hangout. I don't know if you got it, Jedi. Or not, but what it seems to be, what I read and what I gathered from it is, supposedly this PlayStation 5 SSD is even surprising the developers to a point that they have to go back and adjust their games for it and rethink their game with the ideal of just how supposedly incredible this SSD from PlayStation is, for Sony is. So I want to get y'all thoughts on that. I guess I would throw it at Keith. You kind of haven't said anything in a while. So what's your thoughts, Keith, on that?
First of all, weird transition.
I know. It ain't no other way. Ain't no other way to transition
Ain't no
out of
easy
that.
way to walk that thing.
Yeah, I want to stay on it, but I was like, I think we need to create a platform where we can have that conversation and we can just stay on it. So it's a lot that I can say on what Jedi said. I can say a whole lot on that, but go ahead.
So wait, about the Sony SSD game is a game changer?
Well, they said
is that what you're saying? Because
I don't know if you saw that article that I put up in the Google Hangout where it said that because of the speed, the Sony SSDs are so fast that the developers had to go and redesign their game. Like they had the games that they had, I guess for the PlayStation 5, they had to go back and redesign it because the SSD is so fast, just that fast. And I was just curious what you thought about that.
No, I mean, you want to take advantage of everything that you possibly have. I do think it's odd, and I do find it strange to have to go back. I'm sorry, not have to have the desire to want to go back and tighten up your games to take advantage of this particular console, which I don't know how far you want to go with that, but I don't know what type of clout, kind of pull Sony has, because I know anybody else wouldn't get that same type of treatment. You know what I mean? Like if you've already developed your game and it's almost ready to go out, but you're going back to work on the Sony game to take advantage of the SSD.
I don't think they were.
I find that interesting, and I kind of want to know why.
Go ahead,
I don't think they were saying it like that. I don't think they were saying
because you would say, okay, well, let's not invest more money into this game that we haven't even.
Well, Keith, maybe I read that wrong. Maybe they're not going back and change anything. But maybe they're saying they having to rethink how they're approaching the PlayStation 5. I think that's the better way to look at it.
Yeah, what it was is that what they found out is that they could improve, because you have to understand what they said at the end of the article. They said that this improvement is not just for the PS5. What they were saying was they saw that what the SSD can give them. They could implement in their games. So this feature now they can implement in their games. And what they said was this feature is not a PlayStation only type of thing, but you said you're going to see this on the other platforms as well. So this feature that they were able to create, or this added functionality they were able to add because of the PS5's SSD that they rethought, that you're going to see that improvement in other places. Which means the Xbox Series X as well.
Okay. I guess I might have misread. I thought it was saying they had to go back and redo some things, but that kind of sounds better what you just said, K-Bump, than what I originally said. So, Keith, I set you up for failure, bro. I apologize. I apologize. I misread the article, but I mean that's interesting though. Still on his face, like it seems to suggest that there's something with this SSD, particularly PlayStation. It seems like it's a game changer and it's opening up doors that even the developers wasn't expecting to be open. And I find that interesting. You know, I find that very interesting at the fact that the devs are blown away by what this SSD can do. And so go ahead, though. Whoever else want to talk about it.
Yeah, I can hop on it.
Go ahead, keep on.
Yeah. So I don't know. The thing is, I don't want to go in here drinking the Kool-Aid, you know, because Sony is putting a lot of sugar in this Kool-Aid.
I wasn't gonna be the one to
whole.
say it, so I'm glad that somebody else said it. I wasn't gonna say it.
I'll be honest, they're pouring a whole lot of sugar in this play, and the worst thing to go in there thinking like, oh my God, these games are going to be so much different, man. All this SSD is changing the game. Like, I truly believe that the SSD is making a difference. I believe that. I believe the SSD has improved because when they talk about the speeds and they talk about what the SSD can do, I mean, absolutely, it was one of the main focus that the PS5 team had when they created the console. And by Mark Cerny's sleepy discussion, you saw how much effort they're putting into this SSD and what it can do. And so I absolutely believe that there are going to be some gains that's going to occur due to the SSD and the PS5. Mm-hmm. But how is that going to translate to games? How is that going to make the games look better? How is the AI going to work better? How is the graphics going to stream better? How the pop in is going to be reduced? My thing is, yes, it's going to make it better. Yeah, it's going to help. But how much is that speed and theoretical speed is going to translate to games and to how it actually looks, how it actually turns out? And so I'm still holding off before I douse myself with this Kool-Aid until I actually see what a PS5 game looks like, because the Unreal Engine video that's not what a PS5 game is going to look like.
You got to talk about that engine, by the way. You got to talk about that engine.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
That's not what a PS5 game is going to look like in 2020. That engine is not coming out to 2021. So what is that? What is the SSD? What is that doing for games in 2020? And how is that speed? Because that's where you're getting the speed, read speed, and I/O speed. How is that translating to games? Because the PS3 was a monster. The cell processor was a beast. But the first years of the PlayStation, it did not translate to better games because of how hard and difficult it was. There were setbacks to the cell processor that caused it not to translate well to video games, to actual games. And so that's why I'm trying to be a little hold offish until I figure out exactly what what we can see or expect from this increased speed, from this increased load times and faster load time and read time and seek time that the SSD hard drive is going to give us. So I'm more of a wait and see. I do believe that it is doing improvements, that it is causing people to rethink and change the way that they're doing their Unreal Engine and stuff like that. But how is it going to translate? How different? If we didn't have the tech, how much different is it going to be now? And so, yeah, I'm more of a wait and see type of thing.
Go ahead, Jedi. Kind of give your thoughts on the engine, and because you didn't get a chance to talk with us when we discussed it the last time. So, go ahead.
Yeah. First off, I want to say that I appreciate you guys letting me get that off my chest. I've been feeling some type of way for that. Like, seriously, I was really feeling some type of way about that.
I told Keith and them, I don't know if I was ready to have the conversation because I know where I could. He's like, I said, I know where I can go on this conversation, but so there's no apologies, man. It was needed, and that's why we gonna create another platform to go even harder at it. So no apologies.
And, with that said, I think that engine, that was incredible. That engine is unbelievable. I've seen it, and well, I think we're not going to see that in 2020. We may not even see that 20. But
the engine comes out in 2021. The game still got to take a while before they come out.
Yeah, I think that's going to be like one of that mid-generation. Really see it. Yeah, I think that technologically, technology-wise, the PS5 as well as the Xbox Series X are incredible consoles. My concern is software developers. Are they going to take advantage of it? We have this type of discussion every year when we talk about specs, and a lot of times we glossy the games and graphics. Really get the artificial intelligence, the AI, the expansion of worlds from an interaction with NPC's point of view. They just want to make the world bigger. They want to have more of like the vantage point further out, and there's no pop-ins. But it's essentially a game that you can play on a prior generation console. And I think that's really my concern with this upcoming generation. Will all of this technology really matter in this scheme of things? Will it be taken advantage of? Software
Right.
developers have to take advantage of the technology for the technology to be relevant. One of the consoles constantly in a more obvious way is Nintendo. Like when they create these Joy-Cons and the HD Rumbles, you have this technology, but who ever uses it outside of Nintendo?
A few,
You know?
but not enough. I ain't even. That's crazy. I ain't even thought about
HD
HD
Rumble.
Rumble.
Yep.
That's I haven't even. It ain't even crossed my brain since the first year or so of that rhetoric. So yeah.
And Nintendo is in a position where they're also a hardware and a software technology that they bring forth to the market. But all of these other companies that are software developers, they don't really be extending themselves like that to really take advantage of what is available to them to the max, to really give the user that experience. Gaming, in my opinion, is really come down to just consumerism and how much money you can make and whatever DLCs you can push. It's very rare that you have Naughty Dogs or different type of companies that really take pride in their work and really try to push the envelope. We don't have a lot of that today.
Okay.
A lot of that, some of that space does come from the indie world. They're pushing a button. The indie world does try to do that.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I should say like AAA.
Yes.
I'm very much curious to see what company or developing studio like those who worked on was it Santa Monica and Naughty Dog. I want to see what they do with what PlayStation or Sony seems to be trying to paint the PlayStation to be. I don't think it's going to be as raw powered as the Xbox Series X, but I'm curious to see what they're going to do because it goes back to what you said, K-Bum. How is this going to play in gameplay and AI, the visuals? I'm pretty sure it will help the visuals in some, but it will help the visual in a way that we really, really notice, or do you have to pause the game to really see the difference, or is it just going to be a bump in clarity and cleanness and latency and stuff like that? Like I'm curious to see where this go because the investment I just made might keep me from being able to get anything for a while. So I'm looking forward to see what I might not be able to buy for a few years. So, but Keith, you want to add anything to that, or do we need to move on to the next topic since I set you up for failure on the question? Are you still there, Mr. Norris? Okay.
I see him in the room, but maybe he's on mute.
He might be on mute. That's fine. So we're gonna move on to this next topic. So who saw this nonsense that Sega? Who has what is Sega thinking? What they doing? I don't understand what Sega got popping off over there. This announcement of these mini handheld devices. Anybody know what's going on there? I don't, because I didn't. When I saw the picture of what they was doing, I didn't even watch it. I said I'm good.
I watched it because I to the chat. I watched it. You need somebody to summarize it?
Summarize it, because I just saw when I saw the hand with these small. I was like, is this really what they doing? I was like, I ain't here.
Okay. I'll try to make it really quick because it's should be short conversation. So what Sony has done, there are What Sega's done, there are 4 different mini Sega consoles or game. I think it's a Game Gear actually. 4 mini, pretty much Game Gears, and it comes in 4 different colors, and they run I think $50 a piece. And with that, on that little device, the very small device, there are 4 games on each device. And so, in order to if you wanted to collect all 16 games, because there are 4 games in each device, and there are 4 different colors, but each color and device has a different game. So for all the ones that's red, they all have different games. The blue one has different games. The yellow one does, and I forget what's the third color. They all have different games. So if you want to collect all the games, then you will have to buy all 4 devices at $50 a pop.
That's ignorant, man.
And so it's genius. You know how they take in this and and turn this. I can't lie. I'm trying to. This is just it's just terrible. But yes, it's 4 games, 4 different devices, 16 games total, $50 a pop. Sega games with a magnifying glass if you wanted it.
Dude,
to make the games look bigger.
Okay, we done. Let's move on to the next topic, man.
But
no, man, because that's why when I saw it, I was like, Sega, that like you just throwing money away. Like who has how can a company that's struggling have money to just throw away like that? Like who asked for that? Who asked for these? Who asked for this? Who
it's almost like a Switch,
It's not. No, it's not like a Switch. It's not even almost like a Switch. If they would have made a Switch Lite. If they would have actually made a Switch, something that was like the Switch, they might have had some on their hand, or just take these games and put them on the Switch. Like Sega
it's
is
the
throwing.
Switch Lite.
It's the Switch. It ain't the K-pop. Anyway, this is ignorance, man. Who is steering the ship of Sega, and who signed this off and thought, man, this got to be for Eastern places like Asia and China and Japan and stuff like that. It got to be for them areas. They might eat something like this up. I can't see this working over here. I really don't. I don't see America. I don't see Canada. I don't see Europe and all those like Germany and all these different places. I don't see them eating this up. Only group I see maybe buying into this is Japan, and hitting on some nostalgia type stuff. And even in that, I don't think that's gonna work. So I don't know. But let me send a shout out to Sim Zim, man. He up in here. What's up, Sim? Yeah, we got on some real conversation. What'd you say?
I was saying, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Was you muted?
No, man. I don't know what happened. My earbuds was on. I kept trying to change the input, output. Nothing was working, so I just disconnected.
Discord. I was having the same situation today. Definitely did.
Yeah. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Sega, Keith?
All right, let me go back because I want to. Well, I'm gonna do this one. Let me give my thoughts, and then I had another point to what K-Boom was saying. Say, all right, let me keep a straight face. This reminds me of that one song. I think it was Afro Man or whatever. Because I got high.
Yeah, because we get high.
Sega, why did you make this? Because I got high. That's why Sega made this. They got high. I don't know. Because this is stupid. This is like, why did you even waste some money on this? Like, you could have not done this at all. Mm-hmm. Like, it was cool. It was cool until, like, I'm watching the video, like, oh, man, they coming back out with the Game Gear or just, like, a novelty version of it. Yeah. And they shrunk it. And I was like, why? I can barely get one thumb on this thing. Like,
why?
I can't even get a thumb on this thing. This was stupid. I don't even get it. Like, I don't get it. I'm going to put it around my neck. What am I supposed to do? I can get a Raspberry Pi, and this probably something D2K was saying, would say, I can go give a Raspberry Pi and get every Sega game I wanted, and put it in a little box and make it like a little handheld thing if I wanted to.
Like, we have emulators, right?
Right.
Just start out.
This is stupid.
Yeah, it
absolutely is. But to circle back, I wanted to say something about, because when I was listening to K-Bun, I got a visual of what I think developers may be seeing when they are developing their games. It's kind of like having a refrigerator. So your current refrigerator is probably nice, but you take that same refrigerator, same size, same footprint and everything, but you just have more compartments. So it's like, man, I used to put all of my eggs over here, and now I can put my eggs in this little compartment and have it tucked away. And then now I used to put all my drinks over here. Now I can put them here, and I have more room. I have more space to do things. So it's like they're working with the same technology that you will see in PCs, but it's like we're able to allocate it and put those resources somewhere else. So it's like now that the SSD is so much faster, I don't have to use my RAM. I don't have to use such and such. I can free that up for something else, And that's the way I see it. Because when he was talking, I was getting a visual like, man, if I had a refrigerator with more compartments, I probably could do more things too. So
store more stuff. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts, Jedi? Did you got any thoughts on this Sega? The miniature arcane. Do you want to add anything to that?
That's
Can you hear me?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
All right, cool. I said because I got high was perfect. I think that was a good explanation of why they did what they did. I have nothing else to add to that.
All right, cool. So let's move to this last one, man. How important? I probably should have worded this different. How important will backwards compatibility be? That's what I should have said. That's broken language that I got up here. How important will backwards compatibility be? Or is it important? How important is backwards compatibility?
Backwards compatibility is very important. The way Microsoft is doing it. If you're not doing it the way Microsoft is doing it, you can keep it. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't need you to add nothing that's gonna make the console go more expensive. You could, like, if Sony is trying to put the PlayStation 4 within the PlayStation 5, keep it. Because all you're gonna do is make the PS5 more expensive. Keep it. Nintendo, if they come up with a Switch 2 and they're like, well, we got to keep the original Switch alive, keep it. Because I don't want you to try to inflate the price just to try to hold on to back compatibility when Microsoft has already showed us the best way to do
it. Is that somebody's phone?
That's my phone.
Oh, okay. I thought it was mine. I'm like, I ain't got no call coming over. All right, so basically, this is something me and K-Bum kind of started talking about, and I kind of want to I want you to build on that, Keith. You were saying if they ain't gonna do it like Microsoft is doing it, then they need to keep it. Just kind of open that up a little bit more, like what you're saying.
What I'm essentially saying is, and I kind of was saying, like a lot of times they have to put that similar tech in the console for it to even run the games on the prior generation. Okay. Number one, don't do that. Number two, I'm not a hoarder. I don't like to collect things. I don't hold on to old games. So for me, I'd rather you just keep it in the cloud where I can buy it digitally or get it digitally and keep it forever. I don't need all of these pieces around my house because you want me to have better compatibility. So for me, I guess it's not important because I don't like hanging on to things, but I'll accept it, and I'll only accept it the way Microsoft is doing it. So yeah, it's not important to me.
Okay. Jedi, what's your thoughts? Is how important is backwards compatibility when looking at this next generation?
I think it's always good to have. I think we're at a point where we're able to do it, and quite frankly, there are games that I may not have played from a prior generation. I may get my hands on it and play it, and I have a console that can play it, and I don't have to dust off a console, maybe it because that old console I no longer have. It opens up the library. It's a new library. There is no downside to that. I think that if I have the for games, or if it allows you to purchase.
You keep going. You going in and out. I don't know if this is catching every other word, so to speak.
I don't really know what to do with that, but
okay, now that's fine. Like when I don't know if it gets farther away from you, so it's cutting you out. But you sound good now, though. Go ahead, go and finish your thought.
Was saying that whether you buy digitally or physically, backwards compatibility allows your purchase valid that much longer.
Okay.
So I don't ever see a downside to that.
Okay, that's what's up. Keith,
I'd like to chime in if I may.
K-Bum. Oh, who's that? D2K?
Yes, it is.
Oh, what's up, brother? Welcome to the shows. I'll give you your
What's
claps.
going on?
All right, did you have something to add? Do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I guess my whole experience with the Xbox is based off of backwards compatibility. There's very few brand new games that I brought forward. A lot of the games that I play on a daily basis are Xbox 360 games that have been upscaled or made Xbox One X enhanced. That's what they call it. Like Fight Night. Actually, I don't think Fight Night Champion is enhanced, but it looks really good playing on the Xbox One X. And a couple other games I like to play all the time, but because you're not really getting a whole lot from Microsoft, that's really what you have to rely on, the stuff that you had back in the past. So I think that going forward, that's a good thing for everybody to keep, because we've purchased a lot of games. It doesn't make any sense for us to keep buying the same games over and over again. That's just double dipping. It's just kind of shiesty business practices, quite frankly. Back in the day, up to this point, it's been difficult for Nintendo to do backwards compatibility because it's like every generation they go to a different medium. so you can't use cartridges, and then there's a small disc, and then it's a big disc, and then it's this. And then they went back to cartridges again. So, but Microsoft and Sony, has been kind of simple to do it. I think that we were having a conversation in the group chat the other day about these rumors of PS5 possibly having some type of a cartridge format involved with it. And obviously they already said it's going to have a Blu-ray drive with it, but that could be for you to be able to just have straight up backwards compatibility with PS4 games. And PS5 games could be on a cartridge. We don't know because we haven't seen anything yet. But that's just a possibility to throw out there. Okay. But I think there's no downside to backwards compatibility if it's not hurting any development or anything like that, where developers have to make sure it works with the previous generation and the new generation or something like that. I think that's what Microsoft is trying to do. But Sony said we're only making PS5 games with a PS5 and that's it. So for them, it's not an issue at all.
Well, they are doing PS4 compatible. That was compatible.
I thought they said they were only making PS5 games with a PS5.
No. They said that remember they talked about the compatible PS4 games. They got in the conversation about the top 100 PS4 games are going to be backwards compatible to the PS5.
No. I'm saying that a game that's been built for the ground up for the PS5 will not work on the PS.
Oh.
Ported to the PS4. That's the
yes. Sorry. Yes, you're
correct. like Xbox is making it all across. If you can buy it on the Xbox One Series, how do you say Xbox Series X, then you can play it also on the Xbox One X. Right now and then. So I mean, to me, I agree, and I need to get K-Bum's sentiments on this as well before I really go in, but. I'm kind of torn between what you just said, D2, and what Keith just said. I'm with him. I'm with Keith on that. If it's going to cost the price to go up because you try to basically put a PlayStation 4 inside the hood of a PlayStation 5 in order to keep allowing that disc to read inside of a PlayStation 5, I'm like, no, just put it in the cloud and give us another way to access the game without forcing us to do that. And I do tend to when keeping this physical stuff, I'm at the point I ain't trying to be a what's that collector. I'm trying to get rid of this stuff.
Order.
A hoarder. That's what it is. I give them respect. I call them collectors because I got movies, but these games, man, like I got all them Wii games over there and Wii U games. I ain't finna play that. I'm not playing that stuff no more. And I should have got rid of it when I had opportunity to really make some money off of it. But so yeah, I'm kind of like with Keith on that position, but at the same time, I don't have a problem with what they kind of described. But I hope it ain't going to cost the system cost more money. But go ahead, K-Bone.
So for me, backwards compatibility, what it means to me is little to nothing. I don't play games from a previous generation. Really, I can't. I'm a graphics person, and once we move to the next level of graphics, it's kind of hard for me to go backwards and play older looking games. And so, that's why I'm not a fan of Nintendo. I'm not a big fan of nostalgia. But, I continue to move forward. I don't stay. I don't look backwards. I move forward when it comes to video games. And, I'm not big when it comes to that. But we're talking about the whole. We're talking about just more than just me and how I like playing games and how I see video games. For a lot of people, backwards compatibility is a big thing. I personally, like I said, I don't get it. I don't see it, but it's a big thing for a lot of people, and they like to be able to play the games. But we have been seeing, even with that being said, we have accepted the way that backward compatibility is being done, which is in the forms of getting you to spend more money for the same game. We have
Nintendo.
see, I wasn't going there. I had my jab
for you,
already.
Man.
I had my jab already.
I felt your spirit all the way over here. I felt your spirits all the way over here.
I said nostalgia already. I'm going to jab twice. I had enough punches thrown. But, ports is the acceptable way of backwards compatible in this day and age with games. And so I don't think is that important anymore. And if so, then I guess we can say Nintendo again with the whole virtual console. They've been doing that for several.
Have they put anything new on that thing yet? Anyway, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't watch it.
I ain't seen nothing new on it.
But but at one point they were charging you multiple times the same as that game instead of just backwards compatibility. Like I said, Nintendo piece was hard because of different media changes, but we've kind of accepted this is how backwards compatible works. So I don't think it's a game changer. I think it's good to have, but I think it doesn't make or break the success of a console.
I think we underestimate. See, this where again I part ways. If what they say about what Microsoft, and that's why I said I agree with Keith. If what they said about what Microsoft's backwards compatibility does to the game, to where it literally does something to the pixels and stuff, to where it makes it look HD and modern to an old game that you played on the original Xbox. It literally, like I was listening to Gamer Tag Radio, and they was talking about how the system would figure out how to best present that game to us now. Like it goes in and it scans and it literally change up how it's gonna look and everything. Like if that's true, that could be a game changer to where your games are literally remade by the system. I don't know how to technically describe what it's doing, but it's up-res and it's like it's remastering the game on the fly or something like that through algorithms and stuff like that. I don't know how it works, but that's kind of how they're describing it, that it's going to be that these games will be at a different resolution. They look totally different than what you played on the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 and everything after that. So that would be a game changer in my opinion. If that's true.
But you think that's going to sell more Xboxes?
Yeah, I think if you tell me,
you think that'll give them the edge over
I ain't gonna go that far.
PS5 games?
I'm not gonna go that far. I will say this: if like the games, this is why I don't play the games on
Cause y'all ain't been playing Xbox games on this generation anyway.
Right, because of how they look. They look all muddy and milky and like somebody took paint and smeared it all together, and it don't look good. But if you can make it look good and the system is doing it and handling it itself, whatever you throw at it, it figures out how to best present that. That could be game changer.
No,
some.
I'm talking about people are not playing Xbox games for this Xbox generation. That's what I'm saying.
But there aren't any.
That's the point. That's the point I'm making. What's the point of no compatibility if there's no games to play?
but I think it's more, like I was saying before, is generations prior, because this generation they dropped the ball, but they got plenty of 360 games, plenty of OG Xbox games that people would love to see. Rare replay games. Just imagine if this technology works the way Level says it was. I would like to see what Killer Instinct would look, the original, with updated graphics. I'll play the mess out of that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of games on the original Xbox that I missed, that I always thought was intriguing and interesting, but I missed them. So if this thing can do what Microsoft says do, that it can make old Xbox game look drastically better than what you originally experienced from a visual standpoint, I'm curious. I think that could intrigue people. Now, would it intrigue everybody? Because I'm pretty sure there's a large group of people that think like you. I ain't trying to go back to nothing former. We own this new stuff. This new stuff is popping off. Forget all that old stuff. No caps. That's kind of how you are. But I think there's some cats out there with the nostalgia, the Nintendo effect, that they would be interested in a lot of that old stuff. Seeing Halo, the original Halo, bumped up and looking right. The Halo 2 are ready to rumble, and all them games they probably still got. And there's some other games that was on. No, that's Sega, but other games. Was it on? Okay, on Xbox that if this scaler or whatever could breathe new life into it visually, like. If Nintendo had something like this, to where you could take them old Super NES games and NES games and you can clean them up, I don't know how realistic this is. This could be another situation with the cloud, with what we were supposed to see with what was that game from Microsoft, Crackdown. This could be another Crackdown situation where we won't see none of this from Microsoft. But if they can make what they saying happen. Yes, that's game changer, and I think it could sell systems because you get in a huge library of games out the gate. You're getting a lot out the gate, and there are people who will go back and play a lot of these games that they missed, especially if you're making it look better. So, like you said, if people went out and bought Zelda, Wind Waker. On the Wii U, because of what they was able to do from the GameCube visual to the Wii U, people went back and bought that game. If Xbox can do that, and as long as you got the game, we can do something on that scale to where we can make a game like Wind Waker look like what Wind Waker looked on the Wii U. That's game changer. I don't know if it's going to go that drastic with it, but. Just it's curious. It's interesting. I'm curious. Anybody else? I'm done. Nothing else to say on that.
I would say that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely seems like. Oh, go ahead, Jedi.
Yeah, no problem. Have game.
He cut out again.
Yeah, he did. All right, go ahead, D2. When he come back in, we get him in. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it definitely seems like both Microsoft and Sony both consoles are starting to develop some distinguishing characteristics that make you have to want to buy both. It's not like they're going to be carbon copies of each other, even though they have the same architecture for the most part. But there's reasons to get the PlayStation 5. There's reasons to get the Xbox One or Xbox Series X that are completely different from each other that make them unique. And I think that's something that the last generation, or the current one, I guess we could say, is lacking. The differentiation in this generation is the games. Microsoft doesn't have any, Sony does. But the next generation, it'll be more like, okay, well, the Series S can do this, and this. Okay, well, the PS5 can do this, and that. Okay, well, and it comes that that's the dilemma for customers, is like, which console should I really get? Especially if you don't have any loyalty to either brand. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, you're right. It's gonna be because it's a clear distinction being made between the two. They seem to be going their own unique way. And I'm liking. I mean, of course, I'm ready to see what Sony gonna do, because I think Sony has hit the sweet spot in cinema in video games, and bringing movie-like quality to video games. I think Sony has hit something that we haven't seen in games. I tip my hat to them. Like, I think Nintendo's has their charm, what they do that wins them their audience. But I think Sony has done something with video games that we dreamed about. Like, we literally able to watch we are getting movie quality experiences, storyline, gameplay interaction, the whole nine with Sony games. So I'm curious to see what that's going to look like with the PlayStation 5. But I'm equally curious to see what Microsoft is doing from a technical side with their backwards compatibility with the cloud, with their streaming service. I think they going that route. And if you buy them, you buy them for different reasons. Because I don't think Microsoft quite got the game side. And I don't know, it's yet to be seen if these developing studios that they bought would be able to match. I doubt they would, because Santa Monica, what they did with God of War and what Naughty Dog does with Uncharted and Last of Us, even though it's in the same format, that over the shoulder, but we there for all that. I'm there for all that and then some. You know what I'm saying? I haven't gotten tired of it yet, and it's something they just have figured that out, and they do that extremely well. Like Nintendo does platforming extremely well. Sony got that cinematic world, pull you in. My wife sat down and watched me play the Uncharted like it was a movie. Watched me play God of War until it got too gory, like it was a movie, because that's how it felt. And so I'm interested to see where they go, because it seems like they're going different paths now. So.
Well, I'll say Sony is an entertainment company. Microsoft is a software company.
Okay.
And you see that in how they handle development.
Mm-hmm. You make that. I keep forgetting that Sony does make movies. So some of that should trickle into
A for you.
Yeah, that is right.
Always makes sense.
That should trickle into how they do their game, because they do. It seems like these games can go to the movie theater. Like I used to sit and watch, not to hold us here, I used to sit and watch the God of War cutscenes on YouTube like a movie. And was there for all of it. When Zeus would come out and Kratos and they interact, and I'm like, and then watching the development of God of War 4 and how they developed it was literally like a movie. Sony owns something special. K-Bum, I'm getting Sony credit, bro. Sony is on something special.
I'm listening.
Look, I know, I hear you.
You got popcorn?
And I've been noticing it, and it's just at the point that I got to tip my hat. Like, they have struck oil with. They don't do what Nintendo do. They're not Nintendo. I think Nintendo got a magic that Sony doesn't have, but Sony has something Nintendo doesn't have, and I don't know if Nintendo could do it. I'm not saying they can't, but they have yet to do it. Sony has hit a sweet spot in their game development, and it's starting to take on its own life, and it is rivaling what Nintendo does in their creation. But Microsoft ain't in this conversation at all, and that's what's sad about it. Microsoft ain't in this conversation when it comes to the games.
Well,
they ain't in it.
A friend of mine, we were having a discussion 2 days ago about the danger that Nintendo has about being complacent and stagnant with their their games and keep going back to the well so many times with their franchises, and it's only a matter of time before people start out Nintendoing Nintendo. He was telling me how this game for PSVR called Astrobot is amazing, and it looks like something Nintendo should have done at some point. I haven't played it myself yet, but I've heard so many good things about it, and I said to him, like, dude, this is where the direction that people are going. We're not getting the things we want from Nintendo, so other people are stepping in and filling in the blanks, and that's very dangerous because, you know, by the time Nintendo says, okay, we'll give you this franchise you've been waiting for 20 years, people are like, yeah, that's cool, huh? Yeah, but back over here, this game we were playing. So you don't want to do that.
What I fear is going to happen. I seen this kart game, and I seen this kart game that just, I don't know, it's coming to the Xbox, the PlayStation, and PC. It's some kart racing game, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It looked interesting. It looks good, and it looks fun, and I think what Keith said in the comments of in the group hangout, in the Google Hangout, is what we really want to see Nintendo do is give us something that ain't limited to the device that they put it on, and so we got to deal with it from a limited where we really can't see, like Zelda. Like you see what's showing up with Zelda on PC, how that game look, and the fact that you mean to tell me, Nintendo, you can make a game look like that? But you make hardware that won't let your game look like that? It's like, as much as I love what Nintendo do, and I'm there for everything Nintendo do, I am at the point that I want to see Nintendo return to that GameCube N64 mindset where we trying to give you
the best of
everything. And
no excuses.
No limitations, no holding back. Like, stop holding us back on the online service. Stop holding us back on making us use this phone situation, which ain't nobody doing. You should realize ain't nobody trying to do that. I ain't even played Splatoon in so long because of that. So, Tiger King, what's up, bro? So, like Keith hit it on the nail, and I won't hold it. I'll let him speak for himself. But I'm kind of like, that's what I'm scared. Like, they will figure it out. They will capture that magic that Nintendo has with the Marios and the Zeldas and the Metroids and the Mario Karts, but it'll be done on way more powerful hardware, which will almost force you to be like, bro, it's hard to go back. Once you see they figured out the magic that Nintendo has, so you don't have to go over there to get it, and you get it at a way better resolution and frame rates and all the bells and the whistles with online and able to talk to your friends, and you don't have to go through all the minutia that Nintendo make you go through to experience these things. Yeah, I hope that Nintendo wake up. I love everything the Switch is doing, but the Switch could easily be a problem, a headache in the long run, because Nintendo could get even more comfortable and miss it. And then when they realize Sony and Microsoft came in, and maybe even Stadia came in and just slid on in there. There it is. So I know Nintendo games right now are strong. Their IPs are strong. But you make a good point, D2K. But share what you said, Keith, and then we'll get out of here in a hangout. I thought what you said was dope.
Oh man, so I think this happened after K-Bum had posted that video, Digital Foundry, the Outer Worlds.
Yes.
I don't know if it was him or D2K, but somebody posted it.
It was K-Bum being funny. It was K-Bum. Go ahead. No, was it D2K and did K-Bum commented on it? I think that's what it was.
It was K-Bum.
It was K-Bum all the way? Okay, yeah, okay. It feels like a K-Bum situation. Well, go ahead. He always went to a muddy game show up to post it. Like, look at this.
Hey, no,
look at
hold
this
on.
specimen right here.
Wait
look at
a
this
minute.
muddy game. That's what it is. No, go ahead, Keith. Go ahead, Keith. K-Bum, let Keith talk. K-Bone, let
D2K
Keith
says
talk, man.
anything you can run anything on any console, and I was doing that because that was a true statement because that was anything.
Go ahead, Keith.
All right, so I've been feeling some type of way, anyways, because I posted. I think I showed you the Zelda thing. You was just kind of talking about it, how good Zelda could look with ray tracing and the additional shadows and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some. If you go on YouTube, you can pretty much find any Nintendo game running on this software where they've like pretty much kind of maxed it out, and there's still headroom for more stuff they can do. And it's like we don't get that from Nintendo. So when K-Bone posted that, it just kind of like made me just like, man, what Nintendo, y'all got to chill with this, because this developer, they're giving us a game, and they're like, yo, we didn't want y'all to be left behind, because there was always this narrative with Nintendo games where we didn't get games because they said, oh, it couldn't run. Well, here we got a developer saying it can run.
It can run.
Do you really want it though? And you look at me like, no, I don't want it. And
like a melted Sunday. Like a melted Sunday, man. Like, who bought this? Who left this blizzard outside?
I can't even identify what I'm shooting at. What is going on? But so it's like I'm not going to blame the developer. I'm going to give them kudos for even trying and attempting it. But it's like Nintendo. They shouldn't be in those positions to have to make those type of compromises. You shouldn't be in those positions to have to make those type of compromises when you have a fully fleshed out idea that you can't realize because your hardware doesn't have the capabilities producing what you have in your mind. So, and it's just making me just feel some type of way about Nintendo as a whole. It's like, man, I want that next Zelda. Like that Breath of the Wild 2. Yeah, it's going to be an amazing game. Yes, I am going to buy it. But why do I have to have a limitation placed on it? And then I have to be the Nintendo fan to kind of justify, well, they could do more with less, and they can be more creative. Man, screw that. We don't have to do that no more. That's back in the day. Yes, we had to be creative, and because we didn't have all the tech and the wizardies and all the other stuff that we got now. We don't have to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things like black people, y'all don't gotta eat chitlins no more, okay? I'm telling you. Look, it's 2020. We don't have to do that stuff no more. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of Nintendo. I'm tired of it.
Okay, tell us how you really feel.
I ain't never heard that one, bro.
Tell us how you really feel.
He said y'all can do better.
You don't have to eat chitlins no more. That will be the line. That's almost better than K-Bum. But we got smashed, bro.
But we got smashed.
But we got that smashed, though. I gotta get that one.
Man, that's a good
Black
one.
people, you don't have to eat chitlins no more. Okay, so I'm in agreement with you though. Like, I do think it's time for Nintendo to go ahead and start to consider, hey man, maybe y'all have made enough money to go ahead and make a system that can compete. Not necessarily that I wanted to be. See, and when you say that, people are like, you just wanted to be. No, I don't. I want to. When I saw that Zelda game running on PC, I said, you know what? Okay, I'm mad because I want to see. I don't want to see Zelda like it is now that I saw it, how it's running on that computer. Like, I was blown away. Like, what could they do if they had the power in the room to breathe to do it? Like, what is possible and that's why I said Sony is not limited themselves. They trying to give themselves as much room as possible to do and get out the ideas that they have, and it's starting to take on life, and they're starting to do something that's really resonating on a scale that I don't think no other producer quite is. Not to say that they're outdoing Nintendo or they're just doing something that's different, and it's on another level.
Another thing is that you have to look at this from NVIDIA's standpoint. Now, NVIDIA, obviously, they manufacture the Tegra chip that's inside of the Switch. NVIDIA wants to move on to other things, and it costs a lot of money to keep producing that Tegra chip for the Switch because it's in such high demand. But those are resources that I'm pretty sure they will allocate towards producing their newer hardware that they're in development for, and they have to keep going back to producing something that they don't want to anymore simply because Nintendo needs it for their console. And I'm pretty sure there's somebody that's in the higher ups of NVIDIA's like, look, we're kind of tired of messing around with this Tegra X1. We got some more powerful stuff over here. Y'all want to go ahead and let us make a console for you? Because we can't do that.
Isn't NVIDIA also using the Tegra themselves though for the Shield?
They're working on newer things for
okay,
newer iterations of the NVIDIA Shield, but the NVIDIA Shield basically was a failure because, and that's the reason that's what made the relationship happen. It was a marriage of convenience.
Right.
The Shield failed. Nintendo needed something quick, so they said, well, we could just dump this off on Nintendo and we can make our money back on the back end with the Switch. Well, they made their money back, but now they want to move on to other things, and they can't do that because they have to keep making the Tegra X1 for the Switch. So at some point, Nintendo's going to have to drop their guard and say, okay, fine, we need another console. And you have this relationship with NVIDIA. There's no excuse why you can't have something that's as powerful as a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. Because the GPU is going to be on par with anything that AMD can do for them. So there's no reason why you can't do it. Now, I'm not sure if they would make the CPU as well, or if Nintendo will outsource somebody else for that, or they would just have a partnership. But they can make a console as powerful or more powerful because those systems are done. Nintendo could start now working on something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They need. My thing is, if you're gonna be with NVIDIA, and NVIDIA, from what I understand, makes the most powerful gaming chip, they need to go ahead and do that. I mean, I think the Switch is dope. I like the Switch, but I'm with Keith. I think I am ready to, and I'm real serious about this. I am ready to see Nintendo make a system that is not limited. And I understand the necessity for the Switch. You didn't have, the Wii U failed. The Wii was what it was. You didn't have to make the Wii U as weak as you did, but you did. But okay, the Switch is great. Let's not try to do another Switch. Let's change the game up. Let's return to an old format. And maybe now that there's a lot of new faces over there, maybe that might be what they might try to do. I don't know, but I hope that's what they try to do, because I think they limiting themselves ain't gonna keep working. Eventually, it's like K-Bun posted that people don't want. I don't want to play that. I didn't. That's why I didn't go buy Witcher. I don't care that it's on the Switch. Why would I buy it for more on the Switch when I can go buy it on the PlayStation for $19 and get a better experience? I'm not doing it. And I think there are more consumers like me than there's consumers that's willing to buy it strictly because it's on the Switch. And I should have bought Mortal Kombat on the PlayStation and not the Switch. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm rethinking a lot of this stuff, man. I like graphics too. I'll be honest with you. I like Nintendo games, but I'm like K-Bump. I like graphics too. I didn't buy that 4K TV just to be sitting up there. I bought it to be used. I got this 4K TV down here to be used. So, and I wanted to be used. That's why I bought a 4K DVD player. All this stuff is for a reason. And it's time for Nintendo. This next time, I think Nintendo need to go ahead and pull all the stops and do what people want. Have the Switch and let the Switch be what replace the DS line, and make a console that people really want, that takes full advantage of the stuff that they buying. I think they at that point, and I hope that they do it. D2K, I hear you. I agree with you. No more fighting and pushing against what you said. I'm with you. Just don't say it so harsh, man. Just don't be so harsh with it. But anyway. But with that being said, man, we gave y'all 2 hours and 30 minutes of a lot of conversation. You had 2 podcasts basically in one. So the first hour and 30 minutes is we dealing with George Floyd, and the second part we actually have in a podcast about games. So maybe I need to cut this up, but I'm not. So just listen to it in parts. But anyway, I'm going to let these dudes sign out. Unfortunately, I don't think Jedi was able to get back in.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. I wasn't for sure. But I'm going to let him sign out first because I know he probably tired over there and the whole different. It's probably what? 4 a.m. over there?
No, it's 1 a.m. though, but it
1
might as well be. I gotta kick my behind the bed right now.
Okay.
But
Go ahead and sign out, bro.
Yeah, man. I definitely appreciate that the podcast is back. I got the text from K-Bomb. I was like, you already know. So, yeah, that's a good look. Yeah, we definitely need to establish that next podcast though, because it's about time that that gets done. I think that games and all fantastic, but there's more pressing right now, especially in this climate. But with that said, I love you guys, and I appreciate that everybody's doing well during the coronavirus, and it's always good to see DA, in the building. I'm glad he was able to make it before, was done with the podcast. But yeah, definitely next week.
Okay, cool. D2K. I mean, that's right. D2K don't do this. Keith. You're like, bro, I don't do this.
Yes, sir. Sorry, jumping in late. Like I told y'all earlier when I got on, I really did forget. We got to cancel Candace Owens. She canceled.
Was she ever not canceled?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I thought she was always canceled. My bad, I'm late to the party.
Carol Baskin. That's what she is. She's Carol Baskin.
That's shit.
So,
dude, she trying. This is money for her, bro. This is money. She playing a game, and she don't believe none of the stuff she's saying. It's a game. So anyway, go ahead.
But no, that was it, man. Until next time, man. Do we get back on? Hopefully, we'll have some actual new information, because I know we're all itching for some new video game information. I know I am. Yeah. So hopefully we'll have something exciting to talk about as far as like something new.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of why we haven't been so itching to jump on it. There ain't been much to talk about, but appreciate that, Keith. K-Bomb.
Yeah. So enjoy the podcast. Enjoy actually getting a chance to talk about some of the issues, man. And yeah, it's right, man. We are. I know this for us in this podcast. We are all of us are Black men, and we are definitely impacted by what's going on around the world right now. But I would truly say this: I am very, very happy to see all the allies that we've gained during this fight, and people jumping on board and seeing this and actually moving the fight with us. I'm here for it. I had a conversation with my senior VP at my job. Well, I'll say it. So I work for MasterCard. I mean, that's a top 100 company. And I actually had my senior VP reach out to me and talk to me on some legit stuff. And also as a company, we had some legit conversation, not none of that fluff stuff. I mean, some real legit, this is how it is to be Black. Even this is how I feel to be Black in your company, kind of conversations. And it's been dope, man. I've loved it, every bit of it. Enjoyed it. I love what's going on. Hope we can keep the momentum and actually move toward the right direction. So I'm here for it, man. I'm happy we get a chance to talk about it in the podcast. So cool.
Okay.
Peace.
Same here, man. I enjoyed it. Nice to hear Jedi Knight's voice again, man. Sacrificing sleep to be on here with us when we still light over here, and he and his 1 o'clock over there. So man, I appreciate you jumping on, and everybody else that is on here. D2K showing up, Keith showing up. Cars K-Bomb, me and you was holding it down at the front. And everybody that's in this comment section, man, we appreciate you. Yes, we are willing to have those uncomfortable conversations. This ain't the first time we did it. This won't be the last time. And I was actually comfortable with staying on the topic, but, for the sake of we was here to talk about games, we wanted to go on to talk about some games. But like K-Bomb said, there's been a lot of real conversations. I don't share all what I do on here, but you can tell if you read between the lines, kind of what I do. So I remember Nia said, "Man, you sound like a preacher." I am. So so yes, this has really been, I kind of let loose on here and just be myself, be a little bit different. But that's why I was telling Jedi, yeah, we can go there and we can open up that book and we can show some things. Yeah, there's an age shifting. Y'all don't know people. I'll just say this real quick. The age is shifting. We're shifting in some prophetic times, and you better brace yourself because things is literally changing before your eyes. A lot of what we seeing is a response to what's going on in behind the scenes in the spiritual. You seeing the natural reflect and act out was because there's stuff shifting spiritually, and I know that might be over some of you guys' heads, but you here for the real. That's what we do on Live and Leveled. We some grown men who I'm noticing that some interesting folk. I'm always puzzled by this nucleus that we got here. We all share something that's unique, and I'm like, man, I believe that was intentional, intentionally done. So, but yeah, that's what's happening. So watch, stay prayed up, keep your eyes going. I just hit y'all with something else. Y'all probably didn't know what y'all just get hit with, but yeah, it's real, folks. And something is finna shift. Something is happening, and prepare yourself for it. But this was the Live and Level Gamers podcast. I hope that y'all enjoyed it, and we will see y'all on the flip side. Deuces.